Welcome to April 1st, April Fool's Day. I didn't look online to see exactly what that all was about, but better yet, this is National Sourdough Bread Day, and so I'm just celebrating that as an artisan bread maker, and we've connected with some folks online about it. It's an absolutely beautiful day in the Bitterroot, and I just want to thank all of you for connecting with us. And I had a webinar this morning and a conference call, so I'm up in Hamilton where the internet connection is much better and we'll be able to get this out to you all. I just want to share some encouragement with you. Thank you so much for participating in our service Sunday. And I just want to, I was overwhelmed really by the results and by the response of people. I just want to encourage you all that if you promise to continue to connect with us and send that out to people as we do these online messages, then it's my promise to you that we'll be positive in what we share, so that for all of your friends that are stressed out with this coronavirus that's going on and our social distancing, that they'll be able to have words of encouragement as well. I think I last checked, we had over 159 viewings of that clip that we did for the service Sunday. And in that then, many of you had shared that you were sharing that with other people as well. So we're looking realistically at least 160, 175 people that got to view that. And I even had family that said they had friends that were overwhelmed. And so they were so encouraged by that message that they shared it with others as well. So we're going to continue to do that as much as we can and try to encourage everyone along the way. While driving in this morning, many of you had asked on my phone and your texts and your phone calls with me that you were wondering about the services, the church services at either the Hamilton Church or the Connor Church going forward. And all I can say is, I don't know. We're trying to respect the wishes of our state. I'm convinced this is the last best place to live. Ooh, so good to be in Montana. But we want to respect our governor's wishes and respect that all. And it's really not about me and not about many of you as much as it is protecting our seniors in case the virus does come this way. And so we're praying for those who are suffering in many of our city centers. All three of my boys are at risk in high density areas where the coronavirus is pandemic. And so please pray for them as I pray for many of you. And so thank you for that. Some of you had asked about giving and what you do about your tithe and about giving to the church during this time. We still have bills to pay. We still have heat and electric and all those kind of things, and mortgage payments on the Connor Church. And so for any of you that are wanting to know about that, please just send your money to the church, and we'll make sure that it gets to the appropriate place, just in a sealed envelope if you want to drop it by the church, or if you want to mail it to the church. We'll make sure that it gets where it needs to be. And thank you again for your giving. We so appreciate your continued support of the church while we're dealing with this. We don't know how long this is going to be. Now they're talking about extensions, and so we're not sure if it's going to end up more into April or not. But we'll continue on, and this is a good way to do it. It's a little weird for me. There's nobody here, but we'll do what we can. But driving in this morning, I was looking at the mountains and just thankful again for being in Montana. And so when I saw the mountains, then I just thought, what a great place to live. And I was so thankful to that. And so Psalm 121 came to my mind. And so as a word of encouragement to you, I'd just like to share that with you a little bit this morning here. Listen to Psalm 129 as David writes, and he says, I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. What a promise that is. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and your going, both now and forevermore. Our trust, our hope is in the Lord. And I'm just excited. I really am excited. And I'm excited to be able to share that with you, that our hope is in the Lord. It's not in the news. It's not in all of the panic and the fear that's going on right now. It's in the Lord. I had just a couple things that I wanted to share with you as I jotted these down of things that you're able to do in this time, trying to support each other and trying to be in all this. Some of this I had mentioned Sunday when I talked about do not worry and the importance of that Jesus gives us the hope of not worrying, and that what we see from Psalm 121 is that the Lord will take care of us. And I trust that, and I hope my hope is placed in that. But let me just list a couple things that I just jotted down here very quickly for you to be able to do. If you're overwhelmed by what's going on, again, I just want to reiterate, shut off the news. Maybe you need to take a day away from it. I know we're always interested in how many deaths there are and how many new outbreaks of the virus there are in people's lives, but it really is important. If you're overwhelmed by this, or you're worried about this, or you're concerned about what's taking place, maybe it's good to just take a moment away from it and step away from it a little bit. So my recommendation is that you would shut off the news for a day. Even if you need to catch up the next day, at least it gives your body and your mind a little bit of a break, just to be able to isolate yourself from all of the news and all of the media, to be able to get a refreshment and renewed spirit from that, because the news sells fear and catastrophe all the time, and so to be able to separate yourself from that. And then number two, just again, I just want to reiterate, go for a walk or go for a drive. You know, stay at home, the stay-at-home order we have is not literally stay at home, it's social distancing. And so what a great thing to be able to drive around and look at the elk that are in the area, or see some of the deer and see some of the geese that are landing in the fields, and being able to celebrate that a little bit. By the way, I did see my first daffodils Sunday afternoon after the service, and so I was excited to be able to say, yes, I did look, as Jesus said, at the flowers of the field. But social distancing is not social isolation, and I think it's important to understand those two things. Another thing that I would say is write down something positive. In the morning when you wake up and just overwhelmed again by just everything going on, just write down some positive thing that the Lord is speaking into your life. It might be the simplest little thing, but something that picks your heart up and lifts your spirits, that you would write that down and let that be your focus for the day. And then another thing is that I like to do, you'll see I'm wearing green. Green is my favorite color, and so I woke up this morning and I thought, you know, a great thing to encourage other people to do is to put on a favorite piece of clothing, shirt or pants or socks or shoes or something, and then celebrate that as a little thing that the Lord has placed in your life. So I just love green. It's my favorite color, and so I'm wearing green to be able to even demonstrate that a little bit. And then I was thinking about it a little bit. You know, my mind goes all over the place, and that's why I have to write notes. But Rosie Greer, some of you may remember him, a famous football player and a friend of O.J. Simpson's, but big, husky, burly guy, and he used to knit. And so I thought, wow, I've talked to people when they commuted, when we were pastoring over in Oregon, and I talked to them a little bit about all of their commuting time. And they would add up the hours, countless thousands of hours that they commuted back and forth from work on the I-5 corridor. And I said to them, what a great thing if you would have taken that specific time and used that to learn a new thing, learn a new language, or listen to audio books and say you're going to get through this series. And we've had several friends who were in difficult situations, and Kay's sister, for one, who said then she was going to read every book in the library. And I thought, what an incredible challenge to herself to be able to do that. And so as I thought about that a little bit, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if during this pandemic time, specifically isolating that time, if we would do something or learn something new, a new talent, a new ability to learn something new, learn to play an instrument, learn to paint or draw or knit or whatever it might be, what a great thing it would be to be able to do that years from now, when we're looking back on this, we would say, oh, you know what? This thing that I'm doing now, I learned when the pandemic was going on. And so I'd encourage you, just find something new, new hobby, new talent, new treasure that you desire to research more and be involved with. And invest in that so that you're distracted from all of the calamity that's going on and that you're focusing on something positive. So try to learn something new during this time together. And then the last thing that I would have, and I mentioned that before, and it was funny because after I had mentioned that, I had got a couple calls from friends that I had not heard from in years. But my challenge to you is that you would call someone. Don't wait for someone else to call you and sit back saying no one's caring or contacting you, but you take the initiative. Call someone. We have so much technology at our fingertips. FaceTime, you can FaceTime with people, you can Skype with people, you can email them, you can simply call them. Remember when we used to be tethered by the phone on the wall and that cord and we couldn't go anywhere? Now we can put our phone on speaker and we can go actually multitask or do something else in this time. And so I would encourage you, reach out to others and see how they're doing. And if you need to call me, call me. And I'm available, and just give me a call, and we'll talk. But God bless you. This is a great new month that we have before us in this month of April, and a great opportunity for us to minister in the lives of others. It's amazing, the stories that are coming in of people ministering in the lives of others during this difficult time. So be encouraged. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.